That was the cue that we're audible.
Oh, I see. I was like, yeah, that would be a good idea, and then just didn't register what you were going for at all. I was born in
I like how you were gonna say, like, oh, that sounds like a great idea, even though you had no fucking idea what the idea was.
Well, no, because I thought you just meant like we were going to do it in the future. I always say I was born in a tube to DM. I don't have any other skills. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D, campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off, the party infiltrated the Foxfire Network tower and successfully managed to secure control of it away from Dr. Ampere Kaloum, their super genius adversary in the Scar Concord, who had been threatening the lives of the people of Neon City and corrupting the Peacekeepers by seemingly holding the commissioner under his thumb. The party has saved Neon's home and seemingly restored Neon's reputation, along with their own. Now, the party must simply wait for a day or two in Edict one last time. What's that?
Wait.
Well, yeah, because they mentioned that they just wanted to ask you guys a few questions, get all the paperwork out of the way, so that you're not considered suspects in the terrorist attack that just happened.
I mean, technically
We'll
we
see.
are.
We'll see.
Dude, sus?
Whether the party decides to do it or not, they've been asked to simply wait a day or two, and then that will be the end of their business in Edict. Zephyr and Caro have already said their goodbyes to those they wish to do so with. The crime families have extended their thanks to the party for saving their lives and their home. And Neon is being welcomed with open arms among the ranks of his comrades. Although he has yet to be approached by the captain whose life he personally saved, who is waiting for the heat to die down as he does not wish to overshadow Neon with getting the celebrity treatment. You guys settled into the barracks at HQ, the very place you had stayed on first entering the cyberpunk city in the Underdark, and you all got a long rest. Come the next day, I will say, just as a broad overview, is there anything any of you wish to do while you're still in the bounds of Edict? Again, the Peacekeepers have requested that you at least wait a day or so that they can question each of you on what exactly happened and what your involvement in the events were. And then at that point, you're free to go.
Gil did want to do a couple of things before going down for his long rest.
Okay. In that case, Gil, what did you wish to do?
Oh, so were we gonna RP the questioning, or?
I was mostly gonna, well, we'll get to it when we get to it, but basically the RP is going to be optional for reasons I'll explain when we get there. Just because, as mentioned before, with the YouTube videos and the streams all up, there's not really much need to recap it in character unless you particularly want to. So real quick, Gil, while the party's settling in the bunks, what would you like to do?
Pretty much all he'd like to do is, while he's in his little trance, he's going to be like thinking back on his past to figure out if he can remember what happened with Kaloum or why he wants to kill him so bad.
Okay. Make me a history check.
And then I have something when he...
Okay.
Mm-hmm. 30-20.
Okay. Gil, thinking back, this had been mentioned offhandedly when you first met Kaloum, although you didn't give it too much thought at the time. Dr. Ampere Kaloum used to work with your family. Specifically, he was the inventor of the weapons that the Gyogran army would field against their enemies. Supposedly, it was his creations that actually helped deal the crippling blow to Barbarous whenever they first invaded Yav. But from what you recall, Kaloum was always very close to you and your family. You would see him around the Citadel frequently. He would be discussing new designs he was working on with your father. While you were not necessarily privy to all of them, you got to see them and even practice with them. You and your sister would often be the first people requested to test new designs that Kaloum was working on, which usually involves specially made rifles and pistols and things of that nature, the occasional explosive, and things of that nature. Kaloum, your father always said, was the genius on which stood Gyogre's imperial power. Without Kaloum's mind backing up the military might of your country would be powerless. But you don't remember having any negative engagement with the man, and he always seemed rather close with your family. You have no negative memories of him, nor can you recall ever even so much as slighting him.
Yeah.
Father.
Okay.
I will say, as one last note, though, with a dirty 20 on history, there is one phrase that kind of pops up in your mind, although you can't place why it's familiar to you. But as you start trying to recall your relation to Kaloum and what exactly may have motivated his dislike of you, you remember one phrase that often got mentioned in conversations between yourself, your sister, your father, and Dr. Kaloum: the Gunslinger's Conclave. You can't remember what that phrase means or its significance, but you remember that being said a lot in conversations. You assume that whatever's making you draw a blank on that may be connected to, as you of course have realized by now, you cannot remember the events that led to your potential death. You think that that may be connected in some way.
Well, remember.
Yeah, so that's about what you're able to recall with a night of meditating on the matter. Kaloum was a friend of your family who designed the weapons that Gyogre would use against their enemies. Your father always attributed Gyogre's success on a military level to Kaloum, but he was always a close friend of you and your family. He would visit frequently. You have no negative memories of the man, and the only phrase you can think of when you try to recall negative associations is the Gunslinger's Conclave.
Also, real quick,
Real quick.
Zephyr's fucking huge on there.
You noticed it.
Yeah, he's tall. He likes to be tall.
He's fucking massive on the fucking stream.
Or maybe Gil and Lucian are just small.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have like a arc where all the big characters get shrunk.
Yeah, they become small.
They get to feel what we feel.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
Yeah.
Anything else from you, Gil?
He just wants to look at that little what is it called? That little thing that he took from the Peacekeeper for the his little
The axe?
no, not the axe. The
PTA.
yeah, PDA. I want to go through
yeah.
his PDA.
Okay. Yeah, it was one of the PDAs you were actually able to salvage. Okay. Noted. And Lucian, you said you had something you wanted?
Yeah. Right before I go down for my sleep, as Arrow comes, I want.
All right. If you're going to want to do that, I'd suggest using Jeremy's mic. You're a little spotty.
Okay. Hang on.
She. Isn't she?
Yeah, I am using his mic.
Oh, you sound better now. Whatever you did.
I moved closer.
Yeah, maybe it was like you were too quiet, so it didn't pick up all.
I apologize. I moved a little closer.
Mhm.
All right. So, Caro,
oh.
as you return to the barracks, Lucian seems to already be awake.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Inside.
Inside for what reason? I'm curious.
Oh, she almost
Uh,
got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Caro, are you lying?
No.
All right, Lucian, roll insight.
I will do that thing.
Well, you want to poke the character sheet.
Don't give away my secret. In the meantime, she'll just kind of slowly close her book, just kind of looking at Kara's expressions. And,
What do you for?
I'm waiting for D&D Beyond to stop loading.
And do you just need the modifier?
There it
I can
goes.
tell you- okay, there you go. Yeah, I can just tell you the modifier.
No, I don't have my dice out right now. 10.
Caro seems fine as far as you can tell.
I'll kind of lean back in the desk chair, kind of snap the book closed. You've been thinking a lot about you. And I have some questions. I don't know if you're open to answering any questions right now. I know it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, but like,
Is it?
are you okay to answer a question?
Sure.
I'm DM. What time of day is it?
I mean,
Lucine would know.
and yeah, like, and yeah, one's close enough because this is like mid long rest, and you guys went to bed.
I had something Caleb was going to do before we long rest. Nobody said we were long resting yet.
I said you guys get a long rest. Then Gil said that I have something I want to do first, and then Lucian said I have something I want to do
Never heard
first.
you
So,
say that.
well, all
I
right, we'll
just
come to
heard
you.
Gil saying that he had something he wanted to do, so I thought we were going around.
All right, well, in that case, we'll get to you after Lucian does what they want to do during their long rest. Lucian, continue.
She kind of turns a little ominously towards you and looks you in your little frog eyes. Who are you?
Hmm? I'm Carol.
Who are you? What I mean is, there could be just a coincidence about us being your previous partner.
Mm,
They're
well,
just, I don't believe in coincidence. The universe isn't too lazy. Is not lazy enough for that.
well, it's not a coincidence. I tracked my party here.
Don't think you're really comprehending what I'm trying to say. And regardless, I want to tell you that I've been working on um that we found,
You're real spotty. You're gonna have to either get closer to the mic or figure something out.
Yeah, that was like that
I
sounds like
can't fucking do anything
an
about it.
that sounds like an internet
You're
problem.
doing it.
Yeah.
All right.
Get all freaked out about it.
All right. Put it in text, and for now, Caleb, what did you want to do
Sure.
during your long rest?
Caleb was going to.
Yeah.
Caleb wanted more of that honey.
Oh, so you
All right.
back to the.
Make me a
Lucian got some.
Oh, yeah.
Or did Caleb get some? Because I remember I wanted Caleb to see if he could get some.
Yeah, you got some, I believe. No, you had gotten a dose. I remember.
Wanted to go back and get some more, but then everybody said, "Oh well, Lucian already has some."
Yeah, I mean, do you want to just borrow a dose from Lucian?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. I'll say, Lucian, would you be willing to allow Caleb a dose from one of your honey jars? Oh, okay. All right, Caleb, whenever you ask Lucian, she just straight up gives you an entire jar of Underdark honey.
Caleb would just do a single dose like he did before.
All right. Let me note that that's one dose from one of the jars done.
Can you add the jar? Because I don't think I'd be able to find it.
I'm keeping track of it myself. I have learned at this point that I need to manage party inventory myself.
I can take care of my
Well, I mean,
own.
I could give him my own inventory. I just need you to put it there because I don't know how else to put it there. I don't know what its stats should be.
Caleb, make me a Constitution saving throw.
Is this to check to see if you have a bad trip?
No, actually, this is to see if you get addicted or not. Normally, you don't have to roll if you only take it once, but if you take it multiple times over a short period of time, which you have done, you risk becoming addicted to it.
The whole point of just being addicted.
That's a 12.
Okay.
What's the DC?
I don't need to tell you that. I just need to tell you that you failed. Caleb, you are now at level 1 addiction to Underdark honey.
I assume at low levels it's pretty easy to break?
Yeah, basically it becomes harder to break, and it takes longer for the higher level. And at extremely high levels, as mentioned before, it can prove fatal.
Fair enough.
But, regardless, Lucian parts with a jar of Underdark honey, and Caleb, you slip into another sweet honey dream. And yeah, we were going to do that after the long rest finished. And Kero, Lucian requests a vial of your blood for their studies into the party's infection.
Okay.
All right. Lucian, Kero happily parts with a vial of their blood.
Maybe a bit poisonous because of all my, she kind of squishes her hand together. Yes. So be careful.
The blood for frogs, is the blood of their poison, or is it just the skin that?
No, just like the mucus would get mixed in. With
Yeah, basically, there's no way that she can give Lucian blood without getting some of their skin mucus in there.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Alright, she just kind of chuckles and says, "Not like I'm going to drink it."
All right. And to avoid further confusion, Zephyr and Neon, is there anything the two of you wish to do before long resting? Because we're about to long rest.
No.
Okay. Lucian, receiving your vial of Kero's blood. Caleb, receiving your honey. Gail, we covered everything from you, right?
Yes. I still don't know what's on the PDA thing.
Yes, flicking through the PDA, it definitely took a beating in the fall, but because you had technically gotten multiple, flicking through the ones that survived, you see that you basically have access to what's on them. For the most part, it's nothing that particularly interests you, just personal accoutrement, records of cases these particular peacekeepers happen to be working. But what does interest you is seeing that since you have their PDAs, you have access to their bank accounts, which from all the PDAs you were able to salvage, in total gives you 19,000 credits to play with.
Nice.
He's going to the bank.
He's going to transfer all of those to the PDA he got when he first got into the city.
Okay.
That's not going to look suspicious.
Yeah, 4 deceased peacekeepers' bank accounts getting liquefied and transferred to a surface dweller who is currently a suspect in their killing.
Like, I'm going to be real, Matthew. That transaction should get frozen by that bank immediately.
Well, they don't.
Well, bear in mind, Neon now has pretty much exclusive access to the network.
Plus, like, that also implies that they immediately reported their deaths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the whole point of you guys waiting is because they need to log everything.
Even still, just the fact that the entirety... Look, like, my freaking bank didn't even want to give up the money I was paying on my damn computer.
To be fair, though, you have to remember, these aren't people who are used to this technology. These are people from the surface who the most complicated they have access to is a weather vane, coming down here and playing around with this stuff. Like, they don't know how credit works or how bank fraud works.
I guess that's fair, but...
I mean, basically, look at it.
Suspicious.
Look at it this way: if you gave Leonardo da Vinci fucking cryptocurrency, would you trust him to spot fraud when he saw it?
It would still probably look suspicious.
Look suspicious. Like, this is.
I'm
not certain, but I feel like this is not how this is supposed to work.
That's totally how that. Yeah. Completely.
You all get a long rest. And I will circle through everyone.
What does reset maximum HP changes mean?
If you got hit by an effect that basically like increased your max HP for one reason or another, that just basically puts your HP back to normal.
Okay. Confirm.
All right. We'll circle through everyone, but before doing that, as mentioned, I will not force you guys to role play out the questioning from the Peacekeepers. So I will go through each of you and basically, A, will you answer their questions when asked? And B, if you do, is there anything you specifically choose to leave out? So, Zephyr, do you answer their questions?
Zephyr doesn't even give them the time of day. Zephyr's not gonna go. First off, Zephyr will first. He does have something in the morning. I was gonna wait till the morning.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna go through what everyone's doing during the day separately. I'm just basically first and foremost checking like who is or is not going to answer the Peacekeepers, and those who are they being honest?
Yeah, Zephyr's giving them a time of day.
Noted. Okay. Ghetto.
Zephyr just sit there saying nothing.
He doesn't. He's gonna.
It sounds like he's not even gonna come in when they ask him.
Zephyr's leaving.
All right. Noted. Ghetto, do you answer their questions when asked?
Yeah.
Is there anything from the story you choose to leave out?
No.
Okay. Gil.
Throats dying was really scary.
Yes, he will answer the questions. No, he won't leave anything out.
Caleb?
What questions are they going to ask?
Basically, just what happened since coming to Edict, and basically, like, how did you figure out that the commissioner was corrupt? How did you know that the tower was compromised? What exactly did you do to secure it? Et cetera, et cetera.
All right, Caleb will answer the questions, but he won't outright lie. But he might gloss over some details, like what they did at the Honey Hive, and gloss over the details of the battle.
Yeah,
okay.
Say specifically how many Peacekeepers he killed by stabbing them right in their backs.
Okay, noted. Neon?
Tell them everything, leave nothing out.
Okay. Lucian?
I will also tell them everything and leave nothing out.
Okay.
Specifically, Caleb, I watched him stab at least 3 people in the back, and there was one man who
another one.
It was a nightmare. He surrendered to one of them, and then they let him off the hook, and then he killed him.
One of them was on his knees. He'd thrown away his gun. And he was begging to be spared because he had a wife with a child on the way, and he coldly and cruelly sawed his head off with an olive fork.
Ollie, no.
With a what?
With an olive fork.
I will malice you with a
shoehorn.
I was forced to watch as he maliced him with a shoehorn. It was horrifying, it was.
All right. All right. Most of the party comes when called and gives an honest, complete retelling of events. Caleb glosses over some of the details, their dealings with the local criminal element and their personal murder of several peacekeepers. Zephyr is uncooperative from the get-go, and from the sounds of it, has some plans of their own. So we'll start there. Zephyr, you awake the following morning in your penthouse in the Sweet Honey Hive. What do you wish to do?
Well, first, nothing too crazy. He's just gonna, make sure he has all his stuff with him so he didn't have it last time. Sweet, sweet stuff. But he's going to the Reapers and kind of just going up there and talk to him for a bit. Maybe an item. He's like, saved your life.
Okay.
But actually, let's see. How much are uncommon items again?
Well, the price will vary based on the item in particular. Did you have a specific item in mind?
No, I was just gonna see if I could buy a common item.
Yeah. All right. Making your way over to the west side of the cavern, over to the distant wastes where the Reapers operate. It doesn't take you long. You know where to find Naden, and he seems, as much as he can be, happy to see you. And whenever you make it clear that you're here on business, and kind of a general gist of what you're looking for, he reports to you that the scale of what you're looking for, if he can provide it, will usually run you anywhere from 100 to 500, depending on the rarity and power.
Okay. I think it's 10 silver per gold, right? Yes.
Yes.
So, for some reason, math is eluding me.
Welcome to my permanent existence, man.
Calculator.
I know, sadly, I brought it out. That and okay, I was right the first time. I was just like, man, that just doesn't feel right. I have about roughly 100 gold and silver, over. So yeah, but I mean, he'll. I guess if he can look for any just cheap uncommon items that he would just kind of seem that would, because I remember we did say that he kind of had him explain some of these items to him as well.
Yeah. So yeah, basically I'll say again, just help me as the DM narrow this down. So again, it's not just me rattling off a list. Do you have any idea of like, are you looking for weapons or like armor, potions?
Could. I have definitely am good on potions. At least something like. I don't want armor. I like my armor. I guess just mundane, like basically trinkets are fine. Stuff that you can
Okay.
just kind of carry on in person, just bring out and use type of thing, or wear.
Okay.
Just like rings or something.
All right.
And
Okay.
he'll
And
he has $100 to work with.
okay. He, whenever you kind of give him an idea of your price range, as you hold out the 100 gold, he
doesn't hold out 100 gold. That will bring
it's
out.
I know it's mostly silvers, but like
Oh, no,
100 gold worth of stuff.
Yeah, he'll pull out 1,000 silver, just like here.
He kind of looks it up and down, and I'm sure you've been getting asked this a lot, but are you going to be staying in the city for much longer?
I'm not. Sounds like my party is. Knowing my party, that some of them might stay because these peacekeepers seem to want to question us, so I don't care for them. But for myself, I had no original plans to stay, unless you need me or something.
Oh, quite the opposite, actually. If you don't intend to stay, then he kind of thinks for a moment and pushes the coins back toward you. I'll part with something from my storage, but keep your money. It's a pain to get it all converted, and I don't want you heading back to the surface thinking I owe you anything. You saved my life. I figured the least I can do is give you something useful. Come, I'll see to it myself. I need to wait for all this to finish brewing anyway.
Yeah, as he follows, he'll actually kind of like give like a brief rundown, of what happened and all that.
As he actually does listen to the story intently, kind of chuckling a bit at some of the recountings you give of like some of your party members kind of coming in and out of various states of addiction and the chaos and bloodshed that you tend to leave in your wake. And once you about reach the shed and he's breaking out the keys to unlock it, as he's doing so, he kind of thinks for a moment and more than likely the Peacekeepers will come to ask me if they can't get a hold of you. Do you wish to keep all of what you've told me secret, or do you want me to just get them off your back?
I mean, you can get them back, I guess. More, I just don't care to waste my time with them. That's the information they gain is relevant. Just
Oh, I quite agree. It's mostly just so they avoid the paperwork and ensure that they haven't let any criminals slip through their fingers. And he kind of sarcastically gestures as he's opening the door and walks you into his shed full of contraband. All right. From what you've told me of your existing arsenal, I think you're doing quite well for yourself on things that help you move around, nor do you seem to have to be much in the market for defensive wares. Is all of that correct?
At least not in the armor sense. And I do have this, the ring of protection, but otherwise, yeah, I'm pretty defensive.
All right. Perhaps just something to help you out. He starts kind of rifling through some of the items, and since you had recounted your story to him, he holds up what appears to be a metal tube of some kind with some straps on it, presumably to attach to you. And you mentioned that you took something of a fall during the battle at the tower. Perhaps it will assist you if you come into such an event again, although only once. It only has so much fuel.
Saying it only works once, just in general?
Unfortunately. I mean, you could refuel it if you find the time and ability to, but it's not cheap.
What kind of fuel?
You'll need compressed air of some kind, which is hard to come by on the surface. But I've heard that surface dwellers have developed something similar using the services of air elementals.
That's good to know. And yes, and falling is definitely less than ideal, so I will accept it.
Huh. I didn't even have to haggle. He spins the tube around and holds it out to you. Here you are, just in case you find yourself in such a situation again. And from what you've told me of the goings-on on the surface, I feel like avoiding a long fall may be in your best interests. If you consider this acceptable, I'm more than happy to part with it.
I do hope it comes. I do hope it comes in handy. But yeah.
If not, feel free to sell it off to some surface merchant. You'll likely fetch a good price for it, seeing as there's nothing like it up there. And unlike the Peacekeepers and the Generals, I'm not particularly stingy about what I own getting up to the surface.
I appreciate the gesture.
Of course. Thank you for all you've done for me and my people down here, Zephyr. It's much appreciated. We may not owe each other anything at this point, but feel free to send me a message if you have need of my wares or services. Perhaps we can arrange something. And I'll send some people into the city to keep the Peacekeepers off your back.
I appreciate that.
Happy to help. Zephyr, you may add a balloon pack to your inventory.
Balloons.
For those wondering, while you're wearing it, you can deploy it as an action to levitate, or as a reaction, deploy it while falling to get the feather fall effect on yourself.
I'll put it in for now.
Anything else from you, Zephyr?
Cool, doesn't have attunement. I like it.
God, I love, like, I want to see some, like, art of what Zephyr looked like going into the Underdark and what he looked like coming back out. He went in just like a fairly mundane kobold rogue, and came back out with a fucking oxygen tank strapped to his back, a bladed parasol made of Kevlar, a fucking, like, stealth ninja suit with an invisibility button on it.
Yeah, with rings on him now.
Yeah, wearing a bunch of rings and jewelry and accoutrement.
Pretty decked out.
Yeah, I love D&D. All right, is that it for you, Zephyr? Or are you content to just kind of mill about until the party finally decides to leave?
Oh, no. Zephyr will kind of like think about it for a bit. And, you know what? He's going to cast Bending.
Okay, who would you like to message?
Well, I can only message one person. I only have the ability to do one. Whoever's holding the other sending stone, which as far as I know, Neon has it.
Yes, you gave it to Neon, so okay. In that case, we will. Is it okay if we just catch up with what Neon's doing real quick and then come back to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Neon, waking up with in the barracks along with Lucian, Gil, Caleb, and Kero. What would you like to do today, if anything?
Didn't really have any plans, so
All right. In that case, we'll say that while Zephyr's doing his little shopping trip, given your proximity to them, it would make sense that they question you first. Neon, you give a staunch and straightforward and sticking to the facts report of the events that have happened since you encountered these surface dwellers in the city. You rattle off everything that's happened since then. They came down to the Underdark from the facility in Sunspot, helped you investigate the disappearances and mysterious cold in the Ichor Beast research facility in the tunnels, and you accompanied them on a journey to the Ergos Republic on behalf of the Mother, who you did not realize at the time was on behalf of the Commissioner tricking you into delivering Subject Theta from the research facility to the Scar Concord directly. You fought through the island of Nublata, populated by strange dragon beasts, fought your way all the way through the island, picking up allies, pets, and rebel allies along the way. And finally, in a climactic negotiation, managed to convince President Ergos to stand down, securing peace and prosperity for the islanders. Returned to Edict, and discovering that things had gotten wildly out of hand, you confirmed Officer Voter's suspicions of the Commissioner and worked with him to take the Commissioner down. As you're concluding your report, and the officers seeming cheerful, albeit a little, as you expected, discomforted by the gory details of your adventure, are at least kind enough to inform you that you're not fired, and in fact, they actually heavily imply to you that a promotion may be forthcoming, assuming that your comrades' testimonies line up with yours.
Mm-hmm.
oh. Uh-oh.
Neon, as you're leaving the interrogation room, passing through the lavish hallways, and you find yourself kind of passing by the Commissioner's office and just grimacing. About this point, a message starts coming through the earpiece you had received from Zephyr. Zephyr, what do you send to Neon?
Alright, I have 25 words to do this. Alright. Alright, here's my message. Are we leaving?
Man, really using up the word count limit there, Twitter.
I respond, what?
Well, there goes that charge.
This party.
This party. What did he say?
I said,
Just, are we
you
leaving? What? And that's used up the sending stones for the day.
Yep. Yep, that was...
That's how many words you can say?
No, you
No,
got
you
25.
can say 25, they just didn't.
I used like 3 or 4, he used 1.
I didn't know that you used it up.
Yeah, well, because well, actually, technically, he still has a charge, right? Because if you cast Sending, you can respond back, and then...
Yeah, so Neon can now message Zephyr, but Zephyr can't message Neon again today.
Actually, if he uses his Sending Stone, right, because I send him a response.
You could respond, but you can't then message him, you can't instigate a message again.
Yeah, okay. I was like, sure.
Are we leaving?
What?
What? Yeah, like, what do you mean, are we
You need to
leaving? Are we
put-
leaving what? The city? The fucking house? The what?
We should put
Plane
that
of
on a shirt.
existence?
Existence, yeah.
All right.
We're leaving the
Put
planet.
that
Maybe we
exchange,
got.
Matthew. Put that
Noted.
exchange on a shirt.
Yeah, noted.
Are we leaving?
What? Okay.
Core energy.
Anything else from you for the day, Zephyr? Since Neon said they don't have any plans.
I mean, Neon said what?
What?
How should I take what?
I mean, what do you want from me? I don't know how to answer that question.
I mean, I get it. I was just like, how does Zephyr react to what?
Like, God, Zephyr, like stomping on the sending stone.
Zephyr just grabs the sending stone, drops it on the ground, and just steps on it. Waste of my time.
Well, it recharges every day. Just,
Every day, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Just for that.
Should we circle back to you, Zephyr?
I guess. Yeah, I mean, I guess with what he'll feel like he'll just kind of like wait around for, I would say, about
Sending stone used.
Sending stone consumed. He'll wait around for like a couple of hours, and if nothing happens, he's gonna leave.
Okay.
Zephyr's gonna walk away from the entire fucking city.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just leaving the party. Just period.
Zephyr's
leaving
just
the
done
game.
with our bullshit.
Yeah, Zephyr's had enough.
What was the last?
All
straw?
right. Kato, any plans from you for the day?
So we can just kind of do whatever.
Yeah, basically, as long as you report to the Peacekeepers at some point to answer their questions, which that process only takes like an hour or two, you're then free to do whatever you wish for the rest of the day. They basically just said don't leave the city until we've, basically touched base with you to make sure that we don't need to worry about you.
Which Zephyr immediately said, fuck you.
Yeah, literally asked a drug dealer to cover for him and then is planning to leave.
Yeah.
Asked a drug dealer to cover for him.
Carol doesn't have much to do in the city other than hang out with the brothers.
All right. So you want to just...
She'll drag Red along with her, though.
Okay. Yeah, and that actually does draw your attention to, after your meeting with the brokers to confirm what was happening in Edict, it occurs to you that you basically just completely lost track of Red and the rest of your companions, the party kind of bouncing from place to place and not really seeing them for a while. You more just kind of stumble across him, wandering the outskirts along with Soren and his pack. However, on seeing you, he does start just like following you around again. And you can ask him where he's been, but he doesn't seem immediately forthcoming with the information if you don't ask.
Sorry, we have a lot to do.
Yeah, I gathered that.
I honestly forgot who Red was. I was like, Red, like one of the brokers, right? And then
well, there is a Red broker, but you guys also named this guy Red, so
yeah, I completely forgot about him.
Yeah, you created him, and then you forgot all about him.
Yeah, perfect father.
That's your baby.
Yeah, like perfect father.
Zephyr, you're not a very good father.
No.
What about Zephyr would make you assume he would be?
Like,
that is a fair point.
He's a huggable little kobold. That's why.
Huggable until he stabs you to death.
Yeah, but that's all right. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
I'll just go to the cleric and be like, I did it again.
Carl.
Yeah. All right. So, Kato, you regroup with Red and the Raptors and touch base with the brokers. turn in for your quick interview with the Peacekeepers. Similar to Neon, you give a straightforward recollection of the facts, and they allow you to leave. And you occupy your day, just giving the city one last wander before the party presumably leaves. Gil, any big plans for the day?
There's a few.
Okay.
So
What would you like
at
to do?
this point, he would like to let's see. He wants to go to the drug dealer dudes to see about some items.
Okay.
Like, do I roughly know how 19,000 credits transfers to gold ish?
A credit equals a gold.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, because there's half credits, full credits, premium credits. So,
No copy.
What?
Yeah.
So he's gonna go see him.
all right. As you pop in to pay a visit to, sorry, I had to sneeze. As you pop in to pay a visit to Naden, I'll say, well, by the time you get there would be around the time Zephyr's leaving. So you don't have to, engage if you don't want to, but just I'll mention offhandedly that you do see Zephyr just basically coming out of the junkyard by the time you get
So
there.
what happened with Kara's thing while I was away?
Kara was basically just hanging out with Red and the Raptors, visiting the brokers, and just kind of chilling out around the city. Their answers to the Peacekeepers were straightforward and honest. Yeah, so Gil, assuming you don't want to bother Zephyr at all.
Zephyr, where are you going?
Somewhere.
Leaving.
We shouldn't be much longer if you're ready to leave. I think we should be ready by the end of the day.
Too long.
Soon enough. Not for Lucian.
Too long.
Yeah, well, don't go too far.
No promises. They'll take too long, and then I'm leaving.
You lag behind, you get left behind.
Yeah,
all right.
fair
With
enough.
that, Gil, you head deeper into the junkyard as Zephyr's just leaving it. And as you approach the Barnhouse chemistry lab, Naden peeks up from his designs and kind of looking down to pop a lid on what he was working on. He dusts off his hazmat suit and rounds the table to approach you. What can I help you with?
I need to see about purchasing a few items and some potions if you have them.
All of you just want the garbage in my shed. None of you come up to buy what I'm actually selling. All right, fine.
What does it mean by that? Because I already bought a Star Blast for me.
Yeah, it's more the fact that most of the party just buys what to him is just garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I bought drugs from too, just once, and we'll probably never buy again.
Is Zephyr's going to leave a review of the drugs?
Pretty good.
Yeah, it affects my enemies decently well.
All right.
And it okay.
As he leads you to the outside shed, he looks you over. What are you in the market for? I'm afraid there's not much I can do about those injuries of yours. You're going to want to see an actual doctor about that.
Yeah, we're working on that. Got somebody up above ground that'll help me with that.
Fair enough. In that case, what can I do for you?
I would like to see about an alchemy set if you have it. I think I saw with my last trip in here a set of gilded armor glamour armor. My bad. And
You just use.
if you also have it, don't know if you do, a bag of mini candies.
Interesting.
What?
A bag of mini candies.
What?
A bag of mini candies.
I heard what you said.
It's a magical item that I showed Matthew from TikTok.
Oh, so it's a homebrew item.
Yeah.
It's similar to the deck mini things. It's not as disastrous.
Oh boy. I mean,
It's not as disastrous as this.
Just hear an argument and
Well,
glitch.
yeah. Well, because you're saying like the deck, it's similar to the deck of many things, which the deck of many things literally has a card that just essentially instantly kills you. It sends your soul to the astral plane, or like to like another plane. And
You remind me to never use those.
well, yeah, that's just Matt has those. But yeah, that's why she's like, not good. But
He, as you're rattling off the things you're looking for, just kind of nods along. But whenever you mention the bag of sweets...
and health potions.
Noted. Whenever you mention the bag of sweets, at this he kind of visibly pauses. And how do you know about that?
Rumors.
There's a pause, and his face breaks out into a smile beneath the hazmat suit. Well, glad to see that it's not just one member of your group that has some taste. I can certainly put a bag together for you. As for the armor, I believe I have a set of that lying around, although I'm afraid I can't help you on an alchemy set. Nobody down here does alchemy.
Fair enough.
And health potions, well, a request I don't get often, but a request I'm certainly able to provide you with if you're willing to give me the time to mix. How strong are you wanting them?
I need some pretty strong ones for myself. I usually take quite a beating.
Like, I can tell.
Yeah, you can see him kind of glance to your arms, and
hands and arms.
I could gather. He thinks for a moment, and as for how long I'll need, he kind of thinks it over for a moment, and at best, I'll be able to get you 2 over the course of a day. That's at the fastest I can work.
That sounds doable.
Sorry. As I said, I don't get requests for them very often, so I'm going to have to brew them from scratch.
you can make your own health potions.
But I'll give you a discount if you're willing to wait.
Yeah, I'll wait.
All right. And any particular type of armor you're looking for the disguising effect on?
It would need to be a medium armor. Well, you can use. Hang on.
I'm surprised you're getting armor. If it's for you, it sounds like it's probably for Lucy.
Medium armor.
He digs around in the shed of junk, and I have a set of studded leather. Will that suffice?
Yeah.
All right. He hoists what appears to the eye to be a normal long coat over his shoulder, and kind of looks you up and down and breaks out another grin. You can see he is delighted that somebody's interested in his candy. All right. He slaps the long coat on his table, just narrowly avoiding knocking over some vials. All right. Long coat with bulletproof fibers woven into it. I'm not surprised you're interested in something like this. Typically, I normally only get requests like this from the other criminals. A bag of sweets, and you can hear him actually cracking open a vault beneath his table. And if you're willing to give me time to brew you up these potions, he does some math in his head, and as promised, I'm willing to discount you the potions. So in total, this will run you... because I'm also having to do the math myself. Let's call it 10,000 credits.
It's like 10,000 gold, isn't it?
Yep.
And he will transfer him the credits.
He gives a wide smile and tosses you the bag of candy and pats the bullet weave long coat. And come back by nightfall and the potion should be ready for you.
I will be here. And at this point, the only thing he's got left that he wants to do is go to the bank area and transfer the credits into gold, go do his report / interrogation that they want to do for him,
Okay.
and then give the armor to Lucy.
Okay. As you start making your way out of Reaper territory, Naden just waves you off with the only remark being, I likely won't be seeing anyone else, so give my regards to your friends, and thank you for, ensuring that my customer base doesn't die.
Oh, no worries. You have good stuff.
Thank you. Do tell Zephyr to let me know how those candies perform. As I said, I don't get buyers for them that often.
I will have him keep you updated. If he doesn't leave us high and dry.
I know he's in a hurry, but I doubt he'll get far.
Oh, you don't know how fast that little jackass is.
He gives a bit of a shrug and returns to his chemistry table. Gil, you make your way back into the city, head to the bank to convert your remaining funds, and feeling happy, your coffers significantly heavier than they were when you first came to Edict. You head back to Peacekeeper headquarters to pass along the bulletproof long coat to Lucian and give your report to the Peacekeepers. Lucian, you may add glamored studded leather to your inventory, although for appearance's sake, it is a typical brown duster coat, but with bulletproof material weaved between the fabrics.
Cool. Thank you.
Caleb, anything from you for the day beyond your report?
What are the effects of the addiction at level 1?
Typically, for instance, with things like Star Blast, it can be as drastic as I can outright take control of your character at my will. In the case of Dreamer's Honey, however, you just kind of are in a bit of a daze. Like you're just kind of sleepy throughout the day. So, if nothing else, I guess just take that into account. Like, it's not so drastic that you're like falling asleep standing up, but it's that kind of like you're kind of inattentive and losing focus a bit.
Interesting.
Basically, when
I
you
guess if he's feeling tired, he's probably gonna mostly stay in.
All right. You sleep in, and indeed spend most of the day in the barracks, only leaving to give a sleepy. And for flavor, I'll say that kind of plays a role in you glazing over some of the details. The Peacekeepers seem a little frustrated, but seeing that you're obviously high, they don't give you too much trouble. They just seem a little irritated, but nothing you said contradicts with what they were told, just basically leaving out some details, which isn't a crime, so they let you off the hook, although you can hear them kind of mutter to each other about kids these days. Gil, I've already done that on your behalf. So we've covered Neon. So Lucian, last on the board. What do you wish to do today beyond giving your report to the Peacekeepers?
I had nothing planned. I'm ready to leave.
All right. In that case, as Zephyr kind of wanders the city impatiently, ready to leave the party behind if the need arises, or the perceived need, Caro just kind of wandering about idly while waiting for the party to finish their errands. Gil passing along your item to Lucian, who's just on their way for her questioning. And Kayla spending most of the day in the barracks with Raccoon kind of just watching over you to make sure you don't wander off. Neon. After you finished your questioning and you're just kind of ambling around the Peacekeeper headquarters, you are approached by a ever-familiar gas-masked officer who just, again, you can't see him emoting behind the mask, but just gestures for you to follow him silently.
I will follow.
Joseph Voter takes you down into the cafeteria, which you notice is largely empty. And just silently grabs you a coffee and sits down next to you at one of the empty tables. And after a moment's pause of the two of you just sitting side by side for a moment, he finally speaks up. I'm sorry I didn't say it sooner, but thank you, Neon, and congratulations.
No thanks necessary.
I think thanks are very necessary. You saved not only my life, but the lives of everyone in this city.
I would have felt bad.
Well. So, I know I've asked you this already, but I wanted to give you time to sleep on it. What are your plans now?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm thinking about sticking around here for a while.
We are in the market for a new commissioner.
Well, things seem unstable around here. Figured if we're going to be of any help with, this whole saving the world bit, we might want to get things in order here first.
Right. I'm with you. Word around the precinct is they're going to have one of us take the commissioner's seat. It's just a matter of who wants it. I'll admit, office work isn't exactly my cup of tea, but I know you never exactly like being the center of attention either, so what are you thinking?
Gonna be honest, I think a lengthy prison sentence would be preferable.
Well, in that case, if I'm going to take the seat, I could certainly use a captain I know is on the right side.
Captain, eh?
Yeah, it's nepotism, but, well, I think that's the least of this precinct's worries after all this.
Hold on. 1 second. 1 second. Sorry.
No worries. While that's getting resolved, Zephyr, in total, with your interrogation being halted by the Reaper's intervention, how long are you willing to wait before simply making for the exit and leaving the party behind?
I mean, I guess I want to say, knowing them, they'll probably. I knew they would take a while because they're slow. They're all kind of slow compared to Zephyr.
Or maybe Zephyr's just really fast.
I mean, let's say compared to Zephyr, they're all slow. So I'll give them about 6 to 7 hours, and then Zephyr's gonna start heading for the door.
All right, well, actually, that works out. Because the interrogations, I'm not even shitting you, I was running the math preemptively, so because I didn't want to come off like, oh, conveniently. Literally, the interrogations will be wrapping up with a half hour to spare for that.
Yeah, perfect.
In that case, Zephyr, you'll be waiting around, but the party will be regrouping with you before you lose your patience. Kato, you have a wonderful evening with the brokers. And while you've seen Ledger Broker drink frequently, he's always seemed to keep his composure, so you imagine that he kind of waters down whatever he's drinking to some degree, or he's just very good at keeping himself focused. But you get the impression that he's actually, like, to an extent, drinking himself silly. And he ends up being far more talkative and direct than you've seen him. And you and the three brothers have a delightful evening of drinks and merrymaking as you wait for the interrogations to conclude. Lucian, adjusting your new coat and finishing up your interrogation. Caleb, lounging in the barracks lazily with Raccoon watching over you. You're kind of just constantly drifting in and out of naps. And Gil, looking delightedly over your new bag of candies. Neon, are you back with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, he said, you say you wanted me to be captain. I said, that's quite the promotion. And then
Yeah, so he gives a nod and, yeah, bit of a change of pace for me as well, but everyone says that they were expecting it, so I guess maybe to some degree it was true. Well, for what it's worth, I'm glad you're sticking around. Make things hell of a lot easier for me around here.
yeah, wouldn't feel right with the recent scare we just had to just fuck off so quickly.
And I mean, from what I heard of your story, you put up quite the fight against somebody who seems to have a better understanding of our technology than even we do. between that and, well, nothing short of your ability to work miracles when it comes to that machine of yours. Even if you didn't want to be captain, I think there's certainly a place for you. We'll need someone who understands our technology down here better, how it can be used against us. You may have locked this Kaloum guy out of our network, but there's still other cities down here that he can get a hold of. Those people are in danger. We need to spread the word, beef up their security too, make sure that he can't get a hold of them either. Not just for their sake, but for the sake of your friends fighting topside. The last thing they need is an army rising out of the Underdark against them without realizing it.
Agreed.
But, I'm sorry. I don't mean to bring down the mood. He holds up his coffee cup to you, and to saving the city, and from the sounds of it, to both of us getting promoted.
Yeah, I'll drink to that, even if it is coffee.
I figure you probably shouldn't be getting too wasted first day on the job, huh?
Yeah, I guess you make a good point.
He looks up, and we have the commissioner under arrest. Your friend's testimonies have all been lining up so far. Well, except for your little friend, who didn't turn up at all, sent some Reapers in his place to tell us to back off. But
he tends to do that.
Be honest with me. Any reason we should suspect him of anything?
Not really. He's just a private man.
Well, we got the testimony of everyone who was traveling with him, including an officer, so we'll let that one slide. Let's say, while they're finishing up interrogations, you and me head to the red light district and have some fun, and we'll make our way south side to see off your friends once they're ready to leave.
Could I invite the group with us?
At this, he actually seems a little surprised, but after a moment gives a nod. Yeah, of course. We'll go plain clothes. No reason to make a scene.
Yeah, sure.
I'll meet you in front of the Sweet Honey Hive.
Sounds good.
All right. See you there, Captain.
Oh, God. For the record, Austin's just...
Yeah, no, I see it.
Yeah, like robbing the bank.
I was like, yeah. You have guild support.
All right.
Yeah, one more bank robbery for old time's sake.
It's gonna be like that scene at the end of the first Guardians of the Galaxy. What if I wanted more? That's stealing.
God.
Stealing, but with a purpose.
What if I want...
Keto, as you're making your way back to headquarters, it's been a few hours, so you expect interrogations will likely be concluding soon. You actually are waved down by a plainclothes officer voter, only distinguishable now by the bald head and the gas mask. And as he kind of waves you over, he gives you a nod, and we're just about finished up. Neon and I were going to invite you and your friends out to dinner before you guys leave. Sound like a plan?
Okay.
Yeah, just I think you would know better than me how to find them, so you just make sure everyone knows. Neon and I will meet up with you guys in front of the hive.
Girl nods. She has a pretty good idea of where everyone went.
All right. I'll see you there, Miss Carol.
See you there.
Voter, but you can just call me Joe.
See you there, Joe.
Plain clothes, Joe.
Yeah, no, kind of brief fun fact. When I was designing Officer Voter, I literally went out of my way to give him the most generic name possible. I literally just looked up slang terms for generic everyman because I thought it'd be interesting that the guy who's like an underground celebrity among the Peacekeepers and like super famous and popular is like just Steve Bobson, basically.
Even Bobson.
Anyway, in that case, with Kara having received the message, the rest comes rather easily. Zephyr, during your wanderings of the city. Caleb, during your honey-induced nap. Lucian, while going over your books. Neon, hanging out with some Peacekeepers in the cafeteria. And Gil, just finalizing the last of your errands and your interrogation. Caro informs all of you that Neon and Voter are hosting dinner in the Red Light District near the Sweet Honey Hive.
This within the time frame.
Yes, actually, you have a half hour to spare from the time you allotted.
Okay. So as long as it's a half hour, then.
Would I have gotten my health potions yet?
He said to pay him a visit by nightfall. At this point, it's about you guys woke up a little bit on the late side, so at this point it's about 8 o'clock. So it'll be about basically the sun, at least on the surface, will likely be going down by the time you finish up dinner. So you should be able to pick them up on the way out.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, Zephyr doesn't want to rob a bank, that is.
All right. One by one, as all of you are fetched and make your way at your own respective paces to the Sweet Honey Hive. Voter, with hands in his pockets, is wearing a somewhat plain-looking jacket and gives you all a nod as you start to group up in front of the hive. And all of you are walked along down the red light district to a somewhat out of the way, more akin to a pub than a really classy diner. But Neon, unless you have any objections to that, Voter seems a little more comfortable here.
I don't care.
Caleb just seems like, tired.
Yeah, Raccoon is kind of having to guide Caleb along, as Caleb seems like he's like he's just looking around grinning and seems like he's having a great time, but Lord only knows what is causing it. As all of you get your seating taken care of and plop down and food is served, is there any conversation in particular anyone wishes to strike up?
Caleb's like, I might need to take a break from this stuff.
It's really good. But I will relieve you of the jar that I gave you if that's what you need.
I think I could just put it out of sight.
Yeah,
As you wish.
Totally out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. Works for all drug dealers or all druggies.
I wouldn't worry too much. It's certainly some tough stuff, more than what you would normally see, but it's not dangerous. At least, not as far as I know. I'll admit, Naden's more the expert on this kind of stuff, but as far as I know, the worst that can happen with that stuff is nightmares.
A bad trip.
More or less. Oh, by the way, this is a bit of a shared party. Partially a farewell. I'm assuming you guys don't plan to stick around much longer from what you've all told me. Partially a thank you present. Yeah, I imagine so. Edict's not for everybody, and from what I understand, you have some pretty urgent business topside. It's also partially a thank you. I'm sure you've heard it enough times, but you did everyone down here a service, and we're not going to forget that. Least of all me. Dinner's on me, obviously. And
For the service, can I have some Can I have some of those power cells? I'm sure you'll
power.
have a bunch of them in your thing for the guns.
Not as much as you think. There's a shortage, actually. But how many are you needing exactly?
Oh, well, if you don't have a lot of them, then it's fine.
Yeah, sorry. We're trying to cut back on as much as we can. With everyone down here getting so much augmentation, we eat through the stuff faster than we can, well, I can't even say make it. We're just finding it, and eventually we're going to stop being able to. We still don't know how to make the stuff.
About taking it apart to see how it works?
Yeah, a few people thought of that, and then,
Yeah.
But he kind of claps Neon on the shoulder.
More careful.
Words are wise. Don't get them wet.
I'm guessing that's the reason for all that.
Part of it.
Gil is a big dummy head, and he does things like punch underwater.
He's
well,
big, he's stupid, but honestly, without him, we would probably be dead.
He's a good.
I know a few officers like that.
He's a good dummy head.
But
a laser pointer and start pointing it around the table near Caleb.
What?
He's doing a little laser pointer around Caleb just to see what Caleb does.
Hey, honestly, I imagine Caleb just winds up being like a cat.
Yeah, just starts batting at it. While that's happening, Voter kind of watches it for a bit and after claps Neon on the shoulder. But that's actually a good segue. This is also partially a celebration. Perhaps the power cell problem won't be lasting much longer with our new head of technology and development.
Congratulations, Neon.
Hey,
Neon, that's
not coming
fantastic!
with us?
Congratulations!
Thank you. And no, not for now, at least.
But I like Neon. Neon is so fluffy.
Be that as it may, and he kind of tousles Neon's head.
Mommy liked me for my floof.
Captain Neon has raised an excellent point to me. If the people of Edict are going to be of any service to your, I don't think it's an exaggeration, war against the Concord, we need to be at our top performance. We can't have fuel shortages and corrupt officers slowing us down. And with me as commissioner and Neon as acting captain and head of research and development, hopefully we can solve both those problems.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I can always check in.
Yeah,
curious.
she can talk to people at distance because reasons.
That reminds me.
Called magic, Caleb.
Yeah, that shit.
Is Zephyr here?
Yes, Zephyr's there.
Yeah, everyone's here.
Zephyr's just been
Zephyr-
quiet.
I can't believe Zephyr actually showed up. I thought he'd be like halfway to where we were going.
I was about to leave.
I'm gonna give Zephyr back the sending stone.
Hello.
Who has the book, by the way?
Lucian does, I believe.
Yeah, Lucian.
So, with Neon and I both down here, we'll make sure that the Peacekeepers are ready to answer a call wherever you happen to need us. Even if you're far from here, chances are you won't be too far from one of the troops of Traduce City. And the first thing Neon and I plan to do is spread the word and start beefing up our cybersecurity, making sure that nothing like this happens again. And that way, if you ever need us as reinforcements for any battles, well, you know how to find us, or call us at any rate.
Yay,
And
no friends.
yeah, and he kind of pats Neon on the back. I can always relieve the captain of duty and give him some vacation time if you want to head topside for a bit.
That'd be nice once in a while.
Thank you, all of you. I really can't say it enough. You guys are insane, and truth be told, could probably stand to argue a little less, but by the gods, when you need to get a job done, you get it done. Can't ask for more than that, I suppose.
I like how we're becoming.
Lucian doesn't know how to just agree with people.
I like how we're being well known for just arguing. Mm-hmm.
Lucian doesn't know how to just listen to people.
I think it's the other way around, my dear.
I heard something about Lucian and around.
She thinks it's the other way around.
You see, Lucian thinks they are very, the smarty pants to ever smart. But they
No, don't. She like
they do,
takes a bite of whatever she's eating.
But they don't realize that that they're smart in some things, and in other things that maybe the others might be smart in. And she argues.
I only argue because I actually know what I'm talking about sometimes.
Amazing. All I had to do was say that you guys argue a lot, and it started an argument.
Someone complained about us arguing, so we argued.
But it's okay.
You get used to it.
We like Lucian, except maybe Zephyr. But Zephyr just doesn't like people. He's never really liked anyone.
Voter lifts up his mask to take a drink.
This might also be part of the problem. Because Zephyr just doesn't like anyone, and so he just does his own thing, and then arguments.
Raccoon's just kind of looking at you, Caleb, and I think you'll need a nap.
Yeah, it cuts back to Caleb's face, and he's got like bloodshot eyes and like 56 bags under each eye, like dripping off.
Almost as if on cue, Caleb's head just plunks on the table and he falls asleep.
Check, please.
Right in the middle of his mashed potatoes.
I don't know. Caleb doesn't. What kind of stuff did they
Bill,
eat where Caleb's
did you
from?
carry that poor boy?
What kind of things
Make sure he gets into bed.
And for the most part, it's a lot of practical preservables, although you do know that a sort of Tabadran, what's the word? Delight of sorts. Delicacy, thank you. A Tabadran delicacy is they actually found a way to make hardtack palatable because, again, as bandits, they often need to rely on things like trade routes, so there can be long stretches of time where they're not getting any imports. So with that in mind, they found a way to make things like hardtack more delightful. So Tabadran cinnamon squares are actually a rather common delicacy.
I put a bunch of sugar and cinnamon.
Dude, I don't know if it's the fact that I'm high as fuck or the fact that I'm sitting here eating fucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But when you said that, I was just like looked at my Cinnamon Toast Crunch like just eyeballs.
Whoa. Kero, anything noteworthy from you?
Not really. Just kind of chilling.
Kara just tosses like a chicken leg up in the air and just tongues it.
Yes, swallows it whole.
As you guys finish your meal, Voter, of course, paying for everything. One last favor from the city of Edict. He stands up and if it's all right with all of you, Neon and I will be happy to steer you to the edge of the city, and we'll part ways there for now.
Yeah.
I have one more stop to make on the way out.
Oh my god.
It's all right. You remember where the gate is, right?
I should.
Well, you're the one who's.
He kind of holds up a hand to you, and Gil, you remember where the gate is, right?
Yes.
All right, just meet us there. Try to be timely about it.
Caleb
I
grunts
won't be
and
long.
speaks. This is what I was talking about.
He kind of chuckles as he approaches you. I know, kid. I know. And kind of hoists you up
Maybe
over
I'll
his shoulder.
carry him.
Yeah, Voter's already beat you to it. But he kind of, carries Caleb on one arm and coming, Neon?
Now I
No, I think I'm comfy right here with all this super glue I spilled on the chair. Kidding.
Ass.
Now I just realized something.
No, he's just thick.
What's that?
Oh no, this is more out of character, but if Neon's leaving us, what happens to our cart?
You still have the cart, just you don't have the beast of burden to pull it.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't we like?
Kill the bull.
We had a horse.
Yeah, you guys left a horse tied up on the surface.
And we left all of it the ration for it there. Didn't
For
we?
how long?
It's
been down here for months.
We only left a few days.
That's how many days of rations did we buy for that horse?
You bought it months of rations.
Oh, okay.
It's like the most bored horse in the world.
Their horse has been tied up in front of Sunspot for almost a month.
Also, yeah, isn't it hot there? So that horse must be like, oof, I'm having a good time.
Yeah, it had no water. It's just mummified.
I thought we left. I thought we specifically because we thought we might be gone for a bit. We let it roam around. I could have sworn we did that.
Yeah, because Caro had told it if we weren't back in about a few days to a week, that it was free to go do whatever it wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's probably gone.
Maybe he
could
really
still be in the
horse.
area.
Yeah, maybe he was really loyal. Maybe he found a wife.
I mean, it was left a food supply that it could easily access, so it might have stayed in the area.
Gil, it's not particularly hard. You paid for them and made the orders. Gil, you are given 2 potions of greater healing.
Greater healing. Is it greatest healing?
No.
No, that would be supreme healing, which is A, out of Gil's price range, and B, you do not have time to wait for this guy to brew them.
How much are those?
Supreme healing potions would run you at least at this particular. Well, I mean, you could always use platinum, but I usually do the calculations in gold. Supreme Healing Potion would run you 50,000.
So 5,000 platinum.
Yeah, and it would take him almost a month to brew them.
1,000 for this for there. I have 2 of them. I bought 2 of them at one point.
Supreme healing potions?
Yep. A while back, remember?
What?
Yeah. I bought Supreme Healing Potions. I have 2.
Matthew, did you calculate that right?
No. Remember, Zephyr is like buddies with the guy who sells these things.
Oh, no, I didn't buy it from him. Remember, I bought it for, like, up top, the paranoid boy, remember?
Yes, so even more so. Like I said, these are the values down here.
Oh.
That being said,
I thought like all items in D&D had the same value.
Usually,
Well,
but, you know...
Well, and also bear in mind, items in D&D actually typically don't have a value, period. You're actually not supposed to be able to buy magic items. I just do that because it's either that or just, luck of the draw with loot, and,
Well, unless you put it there, like... Luck of the draw.
It's like, is it luck of the draw when the DM decides what you get as loot?
Well, it's luck of the draw for you guys.
Yeah, like, it's luck of the draw for us if we actually go to that area that has loot. And and we find the loot, and there's some luck of the draw.
Yeah, like in the fucking D5 campaign 1, where I have a whole shop that the gimmick is they sell the magic items you guys didn't get.
Yeah, like a video game.
You think we can have a traveling salesman who does that here?
Somehow this guy's following us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you didn't know.
Dolly!
Yeah.
Just fucking Dolly. Just on another continent.
Yeah.
Like hundreds of years early.
No, it's not hundreds. This is taking place only 3 years before.
Oh, I thought it was like multiple.
No. Well, it's multiple years, but 3.
No, like I thought it was eons.
Honestly, it turns out Dolly is like that nurse from Pokemon where there's just Dollies everywhere.
Yeah, it's just a species. So yeah, from right now in the campaign, D5 campaign 1 will be starting in 2 years from where you guys are right now. Anyway, while Gil is running his errand, the rest of you are escorted by Commissioner Joseph Voter and Captain and Head of Research and Development Neon to the Gates of Edict, the place that you first entered, the mysterious city of advanced technology and gleaming lights. You see the protective gate that blocks off the most immediate entrance to the surface. And Lucian, you actually see the hang on, I had their names written down. You actually see the Tillian brothers, the twins you had seen working for the mother when you first came in here. And they both give all of you a respectful bow, and as one of them throws the gates open, the other, coming up from his bow, just looks to all of you with a nod, and the mother sends her regards.
Tell her I said hi.
We sure will, miss.
Tell her that she can...
Yes, sir.
He doesn't like the mother.
He does not. Struck a nerve. I'll be sure to do that, sir. And Gil, about this point, you regroup with the party, and together, you all cross the threshold of the gates. And Neon, as you are registered in the database, if you wish to do so, you can open the security doors to allow the party access to the tunnels that brought them here.
back to the place where we all met.
Yep.
It's a storybook. We entered Edict because of Neon and what's his face, and we're going to be exiting Edict because of them.
Neon places a paw on the scanner, and the doors slowly grind open. And Voter, finally removing his hands from his pockets, extends a gloved hand to each of you to shake your hands and places you down next to Gil, Caleb. Gil, you can pick Caleb up if you wish.
At
But
this
he...
point,
I
Caleb is
will.
probably passed out of sleep again.
Yeah, just carry him fireman style.
Yeah, I just got him over my shoulder like a bag of flour and potatoes, you know.
His
Firefighter
back
style.
is going to be killing him.
Like, no,
No, just carry him firefighter style, man. Just
take
over
it-
the shoulder
simply-
firefighter style.
Simply stick them in your bag of holding. Problem solved.
I'm pretty sure, like, isn't there, like,
Yeah.
limited air in the bag of holding?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, about 10 minutes worth.
Voter just gives Caleb a
Why
pat
are
on the
y'all
back.
So mean to Caleb. Like,
Right,
what did he
they're
have
not-
to do to you?
They're not being mean to him, they're just carrying him.
Yeah, I could leave him behind. Let him
Carry
catch
him
up.
They're talking about stuffing him in a bag of fucking holding like he's fucking...
Well, they're not doing
No,
it.
that was Zephyr.
That
Your,
was
your
Zephyr.
brother. Your brother.
Like,
What did you do with that?
Voter gives Caleb a pat on the back with presumably a smile beneath the mask, and shakes the rest of your hands. And it was interesting getting to meet all of you. Thank you for everything.
Give us a call if
Will do. And he looks to you, Neon, and with a hand on your shoulder, I'll give you guys a minute. And with again, shaking all of your hands and giving Caleb a pat on the back, Voter walks away, leaving all of you with Neon as the gates finally cease their rumbling and await open.
I'm going to miss you.
It's not forever. I just figured it'd be better if I get the city in proper shape before, being dragged into what could possibly be a war.
Well, you've just done so much for us, and, there are still answers out there for you.
It's fine. The answers can wait a little bit.
She kind of gives a smile, and, well, I think you're going to do a really good job of being a captain.
Thank you. And, well, I wish you guys luck on your mission. And, I look forward to lending a hand in the future.
You're always welcome.
You all hear some metallic thumps on the other side of the gate, and a kind of excitable, and you see Morgan dragging the cart behind them as always, kind of pad up through the gate. The Tillian brothers kind of like barking like angrily at it in Elvish. And Morgan comes to a stop next to Neon and crouches down, and if one of you wishes, you may unhitch your cart from Neon's mech.
I want to go give Morgan a hug.
And I will unhitch the cart.
And he's
As
gonna
you-
drag that bitch, because I think it took about a day for us to trek through these tunnels.
Oh, more
Three.
than a day. You had to
Like-
sleep in the tunnels.
Yeah, like it was like 3 days.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you have to sleep more than once for 3 days.
And he's also going to call Ruby, so it says it's time to go.
All right. Gil, Caleb on one arm, you start unhitching the cart, and Lucian, as you hug Morgan, the mech kind of wiggles around excitedly. Zephyr, Cato, anything from the pair of you?
I'm just gonna like Wizard of Oz, and I'll miss you the most of all.
Yeah.
Neon's like, well, what the fuck am I?
No, fair enough.
Like, I get it. He's cooler.
Kara's gonna go and give Neon a big ol' hug.
Oh, I'm in on that.
Do I need to make a poison save, or do you have your
No, Neon, Carol's got their suit.
Yeah, she got her suit on.
Because that would have been really funny.
Passes out.
All right. Caro and Lucian and Neon, you all share a big, nice group hug.
A fuzzy hug, because he's so fuzzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, my tiny self.
Zephyr, anything from you?
Zephyr will just look at everyone as he waits for all of them to finish their business.
Come on. Tap. Look, tapping on his watch.
And he gives Zephyr some credit. The door's open, but he's still waiting.
His $15,000 watch.
Like, Gil gives Neon a hug and just crushes him.
Like eyes just popping out of sockets.
My bag!
He just turns into one of those like 90s little squish toys, like when you squish it, hold the back end and the front end just.
His face just does that squish thing.
He makes a squeaky sound like.
Neon, as the hug concludes, you see Red give you a somewhat offhand, but not completely sarcastic salute.
He inclines his head a whole 3 degrees.
And Raccoon jumps to give you a hug of their own. And goodbye, Captain Neon.
Goodbye, Raccoon. I heard your
can't
name
remember
3
her
times.
Like,
Yeah.
Hey, we talked like
Got better
3
one.
times.
Just that Raccoon hugs Neon, just like, goodbye, Lucian.
and then with Lucy hugs like, goodbye, mage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it's the around mage.
He
This whole
missed the
time.
opportunity to say mage one more time.
There's plenty of opportunities later, you know?
All right.
She will always be mage. I think we'll change that.
Yeah.
Neon, any final
Accepted it at this point.
any final words or actions from you, Captain?
I guess I'll just stand there next to Morgan and just be what? Did I see you guys next? Feel free to stop by Edict if you're in the area. We'll get a drink.
Lucian's like a little like bleary-eyed.
I'll deposit Caleb into the cart.
Yell our beast of burden now.
Probably.
For
have
the time
Ruby.
being.
Ah,
Ruby's a flyer, not a forward.
Yeah, just fly a little bit above the ground.
All right. Gil, depositing Caleb into the carriage. The various beasts and companions you've accrued begin to gather up and ready for the next leg of the journey.
oh wait, don't we have like a shit ton of raptors? Why don't we just like fucking sled dog this shit?
You think they're strong enough?
That would be badass. That would
Yeah.
be so awesome.
Like why don't we just snow dog this shit? I don't understand.
I don't know if Kara would want to ask them to do that.
Yeah, but I was like, I'm also thinking, man, are they strong enough to do that, even with that combined strength?
I know their stats, dude. I just think it would be hilarious.
Shoot down the tunnel because they're really fast.
Neon, you see the group promptly begin breaking out in banter over raptor carriage pulling as they cross the threshold of the protective gate. And
I
you
just
place...
sit there I just sit there chuckling to myself, just kind of shaking my head a little bit.
And you place a paw on the scanner, and the doors slowly grind to a close. And with the temporary but goodbyes nonetheless left on the table, I would like to give Neon and their player one from the DM of you were an excellent party member, and it was fantastic having you at the table, and I hope to see you out at the table again.
Yeah. Of course. His schedule's going to be weird for a while, so...
I totally get
It'd
it.
be good to bow out at the moment, and maybe
Yeah.
come back later if I get a more of an idea of what it's going to be like.
Yeah, totally understandable. You're always welcome back at the
You'll
table, but it
definitely
was...
be missed.
Yeah, it was excellent having you at it.
Wrong chat.
Alright, now get the fuck out of
There
here.
you go. Right.
Get out of here!
Okay.
The fuck to
I'm
sleep, dude.
walking here.
I'm walking here.
I'm waddling
Alright.
here.
Let's go to
Do
my
you remember
girlfriend.
that one,
I'm
Matthew?
waiting for this.
And yeah, I remember that. All right.
We're waddling here.
I'm waddling it. All right. As the doors shut, your eyes adjust to being in darkness once again. And Gil, picking up the poles of the carriage, Caleb sleeping within, you all begin to walk. As Zephyr pointed out, this is a day and a half's journey to get through the maintenance tunnels connecting Edict to its surroundings. So is there anything anyone would like to do over the next day of travel and the following?
Me.
All right. Anyone else?
Just studying his bag of candy,
Okay.
looking at the different ones in there.
Okay. Keto, Zephyr?
I hope I don't have shit coming through my mic.
No, that's
No, you're good.
well, I hear your mic, like fan? Question mark.
Oh, no, I think it was my rats drinking water.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
But he's just gonna kind of just keep to himself, quiet, just contemplating a few things.
Okay. Keto?
Sorry, what was the question?
Basically, you're gonna have a day of sleeping in the maintenance tunnels until you get back to the surface. So, is there anything you'd like to do?
I guess scour around for creatures to eat
Make a survival check.
and for my creatures to eat.
I thought the trip to the surface is going to take days.
No. At least if I recall correctly, I know there was a day of sleeping in the maintenance tunnels, but I don't think it was
Yeah,
longer
it's
than
like
that.
a day and a half.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
That was
Are
3
we
days.
already on the surface?
No, you guys got a long rest first.
14.
Okay. Keto, as you guys travel through the tunnels, it's thankfully not dark once you get into this part of them, as the maintenance lights are still on, as they had been on your first trip. Caleb, you spend most of the day asleep in the back of the carriage. Gil, you're exhausted by the time you guys get to that waiting room area where you start bunking down to set up camp. Keto, you wander off in the tunnels ahead to scour for some food. Zephyr, you stay up just kind of contemplating matters. Gil, exhausted, you just lounge on one of the chairs and look into your candy bag just to occupy yourself. Kato, while there's not a whole lot down here given its make, in the tunnels ahead, you do manage to get your hands, or rather tongue, on a few roaches that had made their way into the maintenance tunnels.
Good enough for her.
Yummy.
A day of rations and water for each of you. Kara, I'll say with that, you were able to feed yourself and your spider, but the rest of the mouths still need feeding.
Mm-hmm.
So a day of rations from each of you for every mouth you have to feed, and a day of water for the same.
Yeah, I guess I better go deduct some rations.
How many is? Oh, it's like 6 raptors, right?
Yes.
No.
I think I'm recording rations.
If she needs help feeding them, Gil will offer some of his rations.
Kara, are you having any issues feeding them, or do you have enough?
I have enough for now.
Okay.
And I guess she'll share her what ration she has with Red, because I assume he doesn't have anything for himself either.
Yeah, not at the moment. And as you approach him and offer him some rations, which he takes, he considers for a moment, and so what happens next? You guys never exactly told me what's waiting up there.
Well, we are going to Sundragon.
What's that?
A warm place from what I've heard.
Mm.
Maybe you'll like that.
Better than cold, at least.
Yes, yes. Sundragon is apparently battling an army, but you don't need to be involved in that if you don't want to.
I don't see what's in it for me. But I'll tag along for now. Thanks for the food.
Yes, yes.
As you all finish eating and drinking for the night, you all start to settle in for bed.
How long does this addiction last at level 1?
It depends on how well your roll is, which we will get to in a moment. Lucian, you said you had something you wanted to do before the party long rested?
Sorry, I'm dying over here. Yes. Right before I go to sleep. I know it's gonna be pretty late, but I do want to send a message to Sundragon, and it is plot relevant.
Okay.
What, we're on the way?
Yeah. So, essentially she'll just say something along the lines of, we finally were able to come from the Underdark, and we are actively on our way. How long can I predict that it will take us to get there?
Make a survival check at disadvantage.
By the way, Matthew, does the addiction check happen before or after the long rest?
After the long rest.
Okay. That is actually important.
Disadvantage, you say?
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, because you, A, don't have a map, and B, have never been there before.
Okay. Come on, beyond. My internet's a little sketchy.
Here, I'll roll.
Thank you.
That's for a grand total of... Okay. By your best judgment, assuming the party takes the most efficient route possible, it will take them bare minimum about 2 days to get there once they reach the surface.
Okay. Then I will say to her, we will be there in just 2 more days if we don't drag our feet. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't, but we will be there very shortly. I hope that it's not too late. And that's my message.
The response comes fairly quickly. No worries. We're holding out, okay? Tired, but doing well. He's reached the capital.
Fuck.
The cannons keep us awake. But we'll be okay. You just get here in one piece. And she's cut off by the word count limit.
I will send another message. Don't you worry. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to explode those cannons for you.
How
That's my
romantic.
message.
First thing I'm planning to do is kick that bastard out of his goddamn chair.
Okay, I'll use my last one to say we can tip him over together.
Good
You
thing
all
you
get
did that
along?
before a long rest.
Yeah, no, I always make sure that I do that before a long rest.
Speaking
I make a
of,
habit of it.
you all get a long rest. Lucian, Gil, and Caleb, please make me Constitution saving throws.
Half the party.
Constitution.
16.
All right.
Ooh.
Do I succeed or fail?
We'll get to it.
Not great. Not great. 12.
Okay. Gil?
Not.
30-20.
Okay. Morning comes, or what passes for it down here in the darkness. You all slept as well as you could. Most of you are a little sore. Caleb, however, you feel pretty good, actually. You have kicked your addiction, and you feel refreshed, and while you feel a little stiff from being asleep most of the day, you feel pretty recharged and jazzed from all that rest you got.
He's just full of energy. He's probably bouncing off the walls right now.
Lucian and Gil, you feel fucking sick. Both of you feel exhausted. You have pounding headaches. I will say, given your earlier experiences with addiction, Lucian and Gil, having watched Lucian's addiction progress, both of you know from experience, or rather from seeing Lucian experience it in Gil's case, you're both getting dangerously close to the threshold where there will be no coming back.
Oh, joy.
Both of you at this point are both of you have basically reached that threshold of you would seriously consider killing someone for another Star Blast dose.
Did he fail the save with a dirty 20?
Yes.
Wow.
But yeah, it's such a strong. He's so.
And I have more doses in my bag.
Yeah.
He's just having to restrain himself very, very hard.
Star Blast, I'll freely say, the starting DC for fighting addiction to that stuff is 19, and it only gets harder the more addicted you get.
Yeah, that's why you don't.
I mean, at that
drugs.
high of a start, it probably gets, like, impossible at some point.
Yeah, and that's when it just straight up kills you.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a drug. Like, it's drugs.
Like, they just get so addicted, which is interesting. The thought process. They want it so bad that it kills them.
That's how you're planning to fix his arm. It's killing.
I mean, you could.
I wonder how anticlimactic of a death that would be.
You could technically fix someone that way.
However, as
Then we
uncomfortable.
would need another healer with revival spells.
I'm just gonna. I have revival spells, but anyways, I'm not gonna
Not
cry
if you're
because
dead.
I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna take a chapter out of Caleb's book and just fucking put a pillow over my head and just rest.
All right.
Chapter. Oh, yeah, it wasn't really a chapter. It was just
progress every time they fail the save.
Yeah. But they can basically halt having to make the roll by taking another dose. So basically, if you get really addicted to a drug in this game, you can keep taking it ad infinitum, but never suffer withdrawals. But that means you have to keep supplying yourself.
yeah. It's just the withdrawal apparently is deadly.
Mm-hmm.
I think that can actually happen.
Oh yeah, it can.
That's why they
depends on
say
the
sometimes
drugs.
cold
Absolutely.
turkey isn't a good idea all the time.
Because you can get legitimately sick. Because your body thinks
That's
that it's
usually
dependent
why
on
they-
it.
Right, and they usually have to put you in some kind of hospitalization if you need to be cleansed.
Depends on the drugs.
That said,
Mm.
you all, Lucian, taking a page from Caleb's book and resting in the carriage. Gil, your head pounding and your body sore. You pick up the reins and start pulling. You all journey through the maintenance tunnels, and eventually you make it to that part of them that you had reached via the elevator, where you can see the surrounding ruins of what had been completely unknown designs to you initially, but you now understand to be further extensions to the city that eventually became Edict in the Third Age. You approach the elevator that had brought you down here. It had been cramped the first time coming down, but now that you have a cart and many, many more companions, you guys, yeah, it's not great.
You just hear
I'll have to
Lucy
jump
and
into
just
the
kind
cart
of
to
grumble.
fit.
Mm-hmm.
She just kind of grumbles to herself about how much she hates the fucking elevator.
And Lucian, as you're grumbling to yourself, as indeed many of your companions are having to pile into the carriage just to be able to fit the thing in the elevator, and those of you who aren't in it are being like pressed to the
Big
sides.
elevator that the thing fits at all.
No, yeah, which thankfully it's been established as a rather large one. But that
It really
said,
just lays underneath the cart.
as you all pile in and the doors shut, you hear the automated voice from your first time crackle on the speakers. Hello again. How did you enjoy your stay in Edict?
5 stars.
Your review is appreciated. Now returning to Sunspot. And you all feel the elevator kick on and begin to rise.
I kind of look at Caleb and just go, should I have said 10 stars? I don't understand.
I don't even know what 5 stars is.
It's the restaurant thing. Yeah. It just means it's really good.
I'll just give the restaurant thing.
You all watch as your last view of the advanced cityscape of the Underdark is finally halted abruptly by unfeeling walls of rock and stone. The elevator rises and rises and rises.
Lucian and Gil get that sick feeling in their
Just
stomach.
fucking music in the background.
Oh, hey, hold on. I have a thing. I have a perfect thing for this soundboard.
Oh no.
Soundboard, elevator music.
Meanwhile, Lucian's just like,
Perfect for all those high people.
Lucian's just like, make it stop.
The music stops. And the doors
Oh, thanks,
open.
Shiva.
Now we gotta back the cart back out.
Yeah. Zephyr, as you look out the elevator doors as they open, your pupils contract violently, seeing sunlight for the first time in a month. And you have to almost.
We're all about to be blind. Are we all gonna have to make saves to see how blinded we get?
It's just Zephyr,
I'm not gonna make you make saves, but
Zephyr is, more inclined to be like, well, this sucks.
Yeah, he has the sunlight sensitivity trait. The rest of you take it a little bit better than Zephyr does, but it's still a intense afternoon sun after days and weeks spent underground. And Gil, as you're shoving the cart out of the elevator to allow everyone out onto the manor floor, all of you just stop for a moment. Both to not blind yourselves and let your eyes adjust, but also the warmth of sun on your skin, a real sun, not a magical one. Wind, air,
fire.
It's funny you say that, Zephyr.
Oh shit.
Protection.
Sand.
Zephyr, as that thought occurs to you kind of half jokingly, you look up in the air and realize it's not crazy heavy, but there is some smoke in the air.
The burning of the capital.
Oh yeah, Lucian hasn't told them yet. Lucian, do I see the heavy smoke in the air?
Well, again, it's not heavy. It's kind of a light dusting, but yes, Lucian, as your eyes adjust and you look up from the carriage, you do indeed see that there is some smoke in the air.
Just kind of peep with one eye.
Capacitas.
Lucian will just kind of be like, oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, they're already there at the capital, so we should probably, hurry, I guess.
I wonder if our horse is still in the area.
Yeah, at this point, Gil is going to take out one of his little flasks, take a small swig of Star Blast, and run to go back to where we originally left the cart and the horse, and see if it's still there, and bring the horse and cart back again to get the group.
Okay. Kato, will you do me a favor and roll me a d20?
15.
Okay. Gil, as you take a swig of Star Blast, you just dart off into the ruined town of Sunspot towards the front gates, leaving the cart behind. While Gil's away, anything the rest of you want to do while you wait?
Caleb was probably going to make his way towards where he remembers the cart being as well.
Okay. Do you want to run to keep up with Gil, or just go at your own pace?
Go at his own pace. He ain't in a hurry.
All right. You watch as Gil takes...
He's got plenty of years ahead of him.
You watch as Gil takes a swig of Star Blast and sprints off, and you just kind of shrug and start walking. What are the rest of you doing?
Zephyr's just, while he likes the warmth, he doesn't like the warmth, he just doesn't like the sun, and he's just kind of he's gonna kind of be mostly in the cart, just covering his eyes, just like.
So which cart is nicer, the one we have from Edict or the one we brought here?
The one you, sorry, it took me a minute to realize what you meant. This one is far nicer. This is a carriage. What you guys had coming in was just a cart.
Yeah, if Caleb catches up to Gil, he'll probably tell him to break that cart down for firewood. The other one's better.
All right. Zephyr, as your brother and Gil run
Sure.
off to get the other cart and potentially the horse, you just retreat inside the carriage to stay out of the sun. Caro, anything from you?
Well, Carol's gonna cast Speak with Animals and let the, creatures know what's going on.
Okay.
The raptors seeing real sun for the first time in their lives.
Yeah, Caro, as you look to cast Speak with Animals and start communicating with them, Ruby, the raptors, and even Red are just really curiously looking around, looking at the sky and the surrounding buildings, which are completely foreign designs. Everything about this area, once they stepped off that elevator, is completely alien to them, and they all seem just fascinated by it. Red, in particular, to your surprise, actually seems like genuinely invested, looking at even the cobbles below his scales. And while he does kind of wince and grimace at the sky and the sunlight, he does seem genuinely invested in his surroundings, and kind of looks to you and, wow, never thought I'd see it. Real sun.
Yes, it is very nice, very warm.
I didn't say it was nice. It is warm, though. I'll give you that.
Well, you see it now. It is nice to me.
That's the problem.
Is it always this bright?
It depends on the time of day.
At least as long as it's not all the time. Wow.
Maybe you like sunsets. They're pretty.
I'll keep an eye out for that. This place is a dump.
Yes, it got destroyed a while back, but so they are at the capital, the Sun Dragon, so we need to go help very quickly.
Soren kind of peeks up from their sniffing of the cobblestones, and battle.
Yes, that.
They kind of ruffle their feathers and bark to their comrades, who bark in return. Lucian, what are you doing?
I really can't think of anything that she would want to do except for just try to get everything situated so we can, get to the capital as fast as we can.
All right. Lucian, as Zephyr hides in the carriage and Caro informs your companions and beasts of the situation, you start just making sure the carriage itself is organized and put together.
Yeah, just
Gil?
like her OCD is showing.
Yeah.
Horse rose.
Just
right?
start organizing things by size and shape.
Mm-hmm. Gil, with your Star Blast-induced stamina, you sprint away from the manor, through the ruined cobble streets, past the market area where you had battled the bandits, and finally towards the front gates. And you see your cart there, and a wide circle of grass that has been practically mowed down. And in the center of it all is a very fat, brown, blonde-furred horse.
He overate himself.
We left,
Oh,
we
beautiful.
left those rations there, and he just chowed down.
It's just like that cat made. Oh Lord, he coming.
Oh my goodness.
We named the horse Rose,
I
right? What did we name the horse, Matthew?
I will.
I thought it was like, wasn't it like butterscotch or something?
I think Rose was
Did
my
nobody
campaign.
write it down?
I remember. I just saw that gif.
Hold on. Hold on.
Got that thickness. Mighty thick.
I will untie the horse.
No, the horse isn't tied up. They're just chilling.
So I will get the horse and
Yeah.
our carts
All right.
Well, horse is gonna
And
get
head
some
back.
exercise.
All
Is
right.
all of our stuff still in the cart that we had left originally?
You see that all of the rations have been torn apart and devoured. And I think that was actually all you left in it was just food for the horse.
Took everything
No,
else.
because we remember we had taken all the stuff out of the bandits' treasure hoard that they supposedly had. So like cloth, items and stuff.
Oh
like that.
yeah, like the tactiles and stuff. Yes.
Yeah, and
I
have
didn't
left on
write
the
that
cart.
stuff down.
Well, no, like I know,
Yeah.
I just genuinely assumed you guys had brought that stuff with you. That's why I didn't think about it being in the cart.
No, we had left it on the cart because it's too much for us to carry.
Okay. Yes. Looking over the cart, while the rations have been eaten away by the horse, the tactiles are actually still present, which kind of surprises you.
Oh my god, that gif.
It's fantastic.
So he's gonna put as much of the tactiles into his bag of holding for space.
Okay. And you want to grab the horse and the cart and start pulling them back?
Correct.
All right. Caleb, as you're walking towards the front gates of Sunspot, you see Gil with a cart and a very, very fat pony being pulled behind him.
Oh my god.
You don't see this yet, Lucian.
Yeah, I hear.
But hey, Caleb, we might have to get a new pony. I think this one might not be able to pull our cart.
Maybe we should see. Maybe they just need some exercise.
Gonna
But
see it yet.
you can go ahead and leave that cart. Just we'll bring all the stuff from it because the other cart's nicer. That one is barely worth firewood.
Plus, Lucian has been obsessively organizing the other one.
Don't know that.
Well, we don't know
Yeah.
that. So
We'll leave it at the area. I just want to make sure we get all of our stuff.
All right. Lucian, Caro, as you complete your errands, Gil and Caleb return with cart of supplies still intact. Although I will say, Caro and Lucian, you do notice that the cart does look a little bit beaten down by being exposed to the elements for this long, but it's still functional. And your horse has gotten, yeah, and the horse has
My
gotten
eyes
very
just
fat
go
in your
straight.
absence.
Yeah, my eyes just go straight to the horse. Just, what the fuck is that?
Oh, wait, no, Kara should still have her,
Speak
thing
with
on.
animals, yes.
Yeah. So, what happened?
I got hungry.
Oh
I
my
see.
god! I fucking can't.
Did you not have enough rations?
There was enough. I ate grass whenever I ran out.
I see. Do you want some exercise?
No.
Well, you're going to
slow
get
horse
it
now.
whether you like it or not.
Carol, make an animal handling check. This horse has
just
got.
runs.
Yeah, no, this horse has gone feral, basically.
Could I just like maybe like tap Carol on the head and give her some guidance?
Sure. Carol, you may add a D4 to this.
Okay.
And can I like pull a carrot or something out of my bag of rations
It's not gonna fucking work.
To,
Get a freaking
like-
donut.
to give
Give her a
her
donut.
advantage?
I'll tell you what.
Right.
If you take a day of rations off your inventory, and we'll call that square. Carol, you may make this roll with advantage as well as the
Okay.
guidance D4.
Oh, okay.
I think I could give her lucky.
No.
Yeah, just everyone contributes to make this the ultimate animal handling roll for a horse.
For a fat horse.
Yeah, for a fat horse.
Chonk, Just call him Chonky from now on.
Yeah.
I got an 18.
All right. And out of curiosity, what was the first roll?
The first roll was like wait, I'm gonna have to calculate it. The first roll would have been an 8.
All right. The horse just kind of stares at you at first, and they seem like they're genuinely, like, you get the impression that, again, a month just left to their own devices to get fat has kind of de-domesticated them a little bit. But whenever Gil offers up a handful of fruits and carrots from their rations, they immediately just chow down on everything you hold out, Gil, and through a big mouthful of fruit, just kind of barely legibly speaks to you, Caro. Okay.
I will get them up to the cart then.
I'm gonna become
Or
how we
carriage.
are known, the adventurers with the fat horse.
Yeah, the adventurers who argue all the time and have a fat horse.
Yeah.
They're fools.
The unnamed adventurers with the fat horse and who bicker every day.
Yeah. There's no team name. They bicker all the time, and they have a fat horse.
That is one of the biggest things
maybe-
that they
maybe
bicker
our
about
team
is
name
the
should be
fucking
this-
team name.
Well, that's not the biggest reason. That's just.
Because Lucian is
I was gonna say it is not the biggest
name.
reason.
No.
Our team
and
name is
Lucian
the
has tried
Spoiled
several
Horses.
times.
I mean, we've said it a few times. That's not our biggest thing. We said it like a while back ago, though.
Yeah, it's been like story arc since you guys last argued about that.
I suppose.
That being said, Gil,
When it seemed like we were finally making progress, Lucian strikes again.
Butters allows you to hook them up to the cart without significant complaint. And once Lucian makes their final arrangements, those of you who aren't going to walk pile into the carriage and begin to be pulled through Sunspot. To their credit, fat as they are, their ability to move has not been significantly compromised, although it is a lot less smooth of a ride than you would like.
I mean, they still
to
have
cut
all the
down-
muscle to do it. They just, just have a little bit extra weight.
To cut down time, could Gil and I split between each other? Whoever isn't sleeping is driving.
Yeah. Although, granted, you have a beast of burden to consider, and they can only go for so long.
Well, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna take that long to get there, and I just figured you can rest by the time we get there.
Well, again, it's a 2-day journey, so
okay.
yeah.
A way to speed it up. This isn't the 21st century where we have a car where you could just drive faster.
I was just seeing if there was a way that we could cut down time. It's fine.
Could. We could still do it, just, maybe the first day. Like, have it run the first day, but have it rest, and then after that, just go the full mile.
Mm-hmm.
Lucian, nursing your hangover. Zephyr, staying out of the sun. Gil, driving the cart, being pulled by the fat horse. Red, chilling in the cargo hold. The Raptors.
On the way.
Yeah, don't worry. I wasn't going to, skip anything. I was just basically rattling off where everyone is. Soren and his pack trailing along behind. Ruby nesting on top of the carriage, as seems to be their new favorite spot. Caro, spider in your pocket. Caro and Caleb, out of curiosity for this travel, where do the two of you wish to be, situated?
Probably be in the cart, but again, he's gonna have something that he wants to say to the group.
Yeah, no worries. Again, everyone's going to be within earshot, so totally fine. And Caro, where are you going to be for the travel? Just positioning wise.
Caro's favorite terrain.
I believe Kara's favorite terrain is mountains and swamp. Is that correct?
Yes, this is
So,
a forest,
no.
right?
There's plains, actually.
Oh, plains. Then, no, yeah.
Get that speed boost.
I guess Carol will hang out in the cargo hold with the boys.
Okay. All right, so Caro and Red in the back, Zephyr, Caleb, and Lucian in the carriage, and Gil up front with Raccoon. Everyone's within earshot as you guys are pulled along by your fat horse through the ruined town of Sunspot. Caleb, you have something you wish to say?
Yes, Caleb was going to say. So, since we're going to go do this thing for Lucian's girlfriend, I was wondering after we've concluded this business if we could do something that I need to do.
Depends on what you need.
I, after we've concluded this business, need to return to our home, to Beja. There is business there that I need to deal with. It's not immediate. It can wait till after we finish this business. It's far more immediate, but I do need to return there for
what
personal reasons.
Personal. Oops.
Yeah. Not too far.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Raccoon kind of looks around and that seems okay to me.
Then from there, we will go to work on each one. Is it Aegis?
Yeah.
That where the prisoner camp is?
Yes, the Aegis Federation.
Which I believe
we'll go to...
you told me, Matthew, would be Tabeja would be on the way to there.
Yeah, so assuming you don't want to travel by sea or air, you would have to pass through Tabedra to get there anyway.
Yeah, so it's on the way.
Caro, is this okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I believe Blackthorn is also near.
What about you, Lucian?
What about me?
Just asking your thoughts, but the main question I'm wondering is what reason were you staying there?
I was actually kind of hoping to fly, steal the airships from Trobu, but I'm sure we could probably fly over the Taberidra if we absolutely need to go that way. Is there something? What's the matter? What is this urgent business?
It's a personal matter, but it could result in.
Didn't he say? Wasn't it something about your dad not being hypnotized?
He never said anything.
Is it a matter of life and death?
It is something that can wait till after we finish this business. But it could. There is a way that it could benefit us in our fight.
And how so?
I'm sorry, how many times have we acted on less information from you, Zephyr?
Acted on my information?
Less information. You don't tell us anything and then expect us to just follow you.
Yes, don't.
So, I will return the favor.
Deep down inside him, it's like, he's learning.
Zephyr, you almost feel proud of your brother for a moment.
Zephyr will just aside and speak to himself.
All right.
So, are we in agreement?
I don't see why we can't go to Beijing. So yes.
No arguments from me. You're welcome to do whatever you need to do.
And plus, Summer was looking into the Icker, so maybe she's learned something since we last spoke to her.
That is also a good point. I would like to work with your sister. Is she an alchemist or a chemist?
Is Caleb
Chemist.
She's more of a chemist.
Well, maybe she can help me with some of the theories that I have, but
She's very
think-
smart.
I know. She is very good with what she does, which is why I would listen to her.
But not us.
Never said I wouldn't. But do you know anything about what we're talking about?
Do you?
Ooh, red.
Red. I think
I
Red
actually
is just
do.
Matthew's vehicle.
She just
criticize
kind of like
Lucian.
narrows her eyes. I actually do. Thanks.
Well, if you already know, then why do we need to talk to this sister person?
I think you're misunderstanding. I know certain things, but there are still things I don't know, which is why I want to talk to their sister. There's a difference.
He kind of raises an eyebrow, but doesn't say anything else.
She just
See,
kind
Red
of-
just seems like Matthew's vehicle to criticize Lucian through.
I mean,
Actually,
all of us.
it's more just genuinely what's in character.
Yeah, because he's got a bit of.
I try to have the NPCs stay out of fights, but also stay involved in dialogue. So
Regardless, I don't see why we couldn't go to Betra. I would like to try to fly there if we could.
How we get there isn't really my concern.
Yes,
So,
granted that
For
also
once,
means
we managed to agree on something. After we deal with this, we will head to Depetra.
That sounds good.
flying would require
Yeah.
us to steal a ship. And how do you plan on doing that?
Oh, that will be too hard. If I could only
Yeah, if we
trip
killed
it.
Trapu, it wouldn't be that hard for me to, because Gil's got to have a
Oh.
surgery anyway, and he's got to heal from the surgery,
It's
so
going
that
to
will
be
give me enough time to study the airships and try to figure out how the fuck to work it.
How do you plan on getting it?
Stealing it, Zephyr.
How do you plan on
Taking
getting
it.
to it?
Well, it's there, isn't it? That's
Okay.
why we're going here, is to take care of the airships.
Mm-hmm.
Both the people I mentioned as being the problems have caused the problem yet again.
I'm merely
I'm
asking.
not trying to cause a problem, Caleb.
I'm merely just asking you a question. How do you plan on getting to an airship in the air?
Gil can fly. I don't know if you saw that. We were fighting for our lives, like literally 2 days ago.
now you see, you could have just said Gil can fly, and that could have been the end of that sentence. The rest of it was completely unnecessary.
She just rolls her
Plus, we
eyes
have
and
Ruby.
turns her back.
Plus, we have Ruby. So she can carry people. So she
I
can carry
really
people
don't
up.
give a fuck at this point. It seems like no matter what I do, people are going to say shit about whatever I'm saying, so I'm just gonna stop. She just stops.
You see, now this doesn't solve anything.
Actually, it does solve one
Okay,
thing.
do you want me to talk or do you not want me to talk? What the fuck do you want from me, Caleb?
Caleb,
I'd like for you to stop fucking yelling, for one.
I want to feel like I can actually say something without feeling like I'm being attacked.
You were literally not attacked once. All Zephyr did was ask, how did you plan on doing what you were planning on doing?
Yeah, and then fucking Red with his smartass self had to say, "Oh, you only have to say the one Ding, like, whatever. I can say what I fucking want.
Mm-hmm. So can we.
She just gestures wildly and doesn't say anything.
Satisfied, Dad?
I see he's talking to me.
Created him.
Mm-hmm. Zephyr will kind of narrow his eyes, like, unsure of that.
Me too. Thought it was worth a try.
So Zephyr will just kind of get back to he'll use the parasol to protect his face and be in the car, just be like,
Son, bad.
son, die. BBG is the BBG.
Yeah, the BBG is just the sun.
No.
Yeah, I need to run a campaign that's just a full party of kobolds and drow, and their end game is to defeat the sun.
Destroy the sun. No. I'm just thinking, like, what if the BBG is just a person who just wants to kill the sun? He just doesn't. It just bothers him.
Yeah, it's just the fucking word. Yeah, Zephyr's the surprise. It turns out Zephyr is the lady in white, and the whole reason for all of this was just to destroy the sun.
Oh, fuck.
Gil, with a crack of the reins, you get pulled along with the carriage by your pudgy little horse through the ruined town. You pass by the campsite of the mercenaries you fought, away from the manor where you battled the automaton for the first time.
Are their bodies still there?
What's left of them.
Big
Body.
bones by now, I think, right?
I'll admit, like, seriously, I don't know.
How much time has passed?
Yeah, it's been about a month in total, I believe.
Roughly.
No, they are not bones yet.
They're just rotting.
Yeah, they're just gross.
Nasty.
Yeah, they're just nasty.
Ghastly.
Yeah, it's a ghastly sight.
Okay.
However,
I googled it. Apparently, it requires 3 weeks to several years for a body to goes into a corpse, depending on the.
Boy, that's a fucking wide margin, huh?
Yeah, but depending on the
Probably
factors such
depends
as
on
temperature,
It
temperature,
actually-
humidity,
it
pressure of
actually
insects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
all
it
of
actually.
So they'd probably be like rotting pretty well by this point.
It would be rotting. I don't imagine it would actually be bone. Just it really depends on a lot of the environmental situations. Though I don't imagine they would actually be bones yet.
Yes.
It
Depending
depends on
the heat.
if the animals picked them clean or not.
However, I will say, Keto, I am sorry to report that you are the only one who doesn't notice this, so sorry. But Zephyr,
Right.
Caleb, Lucian, Gil, the four of you do actually notice a couple things as you're passing through that part of town. First of all, you can see where the smoke's coming from. It is not the city of Capacitas as you had feared. However, the reality is not significantly better. The smoke is coming from the distant hillside fortification of Ogden, which, even from this distance, all of you who can see this can tell the town is in ruins and seemingly abandoned.
Damn.
Well, we still gotta pass that spot anyways. to
Well,
get
no,
to the Sundragon, right?
No, to get to Capacitas, you have to head away from Ogden, heading north. Or you can make a detour to check on Ogden if you want.
No.
Like Lucian wants to make a detour.
Argument?
No, Lucian doesn't want to go to
Listen,
Ogden.
Lucian is already just
She
in
wants
a
to go
mood.
straight to Sundra.
But
Fair.
The four of you also notice that while there are signs of, body parts and blood and, the signs that the battle had occurred and the gore and rot you would expect, the place smells delightful, by the way. However, as the four of you who, again, sans Kara, who, again, just passive perception wasn't high enough, as the four of you kind of just survey the area either from your seat on the cart or through the windows, you notice, while you can see missing limbs and, chunks of flesh from your battle, the bodies themselves are gone.
Well, there was that one survivor. Maybe she came back for the bodies.
Yeah. And I'll say, Caro, Gil saying that does alert you to the same thing.
Well, the place was very empty.
Gil really wants to go check on that city.
We can't. We have to go. We can check them later. I'm sure everybody is probably evacuated, Gil.
Yeah.
Please.
Now, I will
He's
make...
not gonna comment on that.
Okay. I will make one additional side note. Gil, as the driver, you can make the final judgment call on this. To get to Capacitas using the quickest route available, you will have to pass through the territory of the Humor Empire.
No.
Which one's that
Fair
again?
deal.
That was the Mercurial.
Who's that
Is
again?
A guy who assassinated the King of the Giants and became the Father Khan. He was the one hosting the Summer Ball. And he is allied with the Scar Concord.
Is it just like a small little branch of their kingdom?
You guys wouldn't necessarily remember this by heart, but basically, yeah, there is a one of their towns occupies this a chunk of Sundragon territory here, which basically creates this awkward little divot where Sundragon's territory does not connect by land. But yeah, unless you guys feel like swimming, this
like
is
a little enclave.
I can always cast Water Walk.
Can you cast that on a cart?
I don't think you can. Even then, it also runs the questions of how long it would take.
So, based on my judgment, how long would it take to go around?
make a survival check.
And she's giving me guidance.
Okay, add a d4.
17.
You do recall that the land route, which would take you through the Humor Empire, is the route that would take you 2 days. It would be significantly faster to cross through the bay, but even if Lucian magically gave you the ability to cross it, you would still be forced to abandon the cart, along with a significant number of your companions.
Oh yeah.
So basically, the party and the party alone basically can get there faster over water, or take the Humor Empire route, which is potentially dangerous. You still have no idea basically you don't know what's been happening up here in the past month since the Summer Ball. Last you saw, Mercurial was completely overrun with Ichor beasts and the Empire abandoned. But this is the only route you can take that basically wouldn't be a huge detour or force you to abandon your companions.
Do I remember if at the bay? Do I remember seeing any boats?
Make a history check.
That is a natural 20.
You recall that I'm assuming you're referring to Ogden, yes?
Yes.
You recall that Ogden's port was still heavily damaged from when Gyogre scoured the city when Sundragon first took it, and they were still in the process of both repairing the docks and commissioning new ships. So it's possible that there's a ship there, but given the state that the town itself is in, you don't imagine if any boats were left that they're still in one piece, if they were even repaired to begin with. So basically, it's possible but unlikely.
In that case, well, y'all, it looks like we're going through enemy territory, and you will head that way.
All right. With a crack of the reins, as the sun begins
to be a bit stealthy about it.
All right. With a quiet crack of the reins, you turn northward, and as the sun begins to set over the party, you start making your way out of Sundragon territory and into the territory of the Humor Empire. Out of the frying pan, into the fire. As you begin making your way towards the Sundragon capital of Capacitas, in hopes of confronting Tropu and Brogdu aboard the airship, settling Raccoon's business with the mysterious goblins, and Caro finally getting the chance to confront the creature that had abducted their party members all those years ago. Argos was comparatively small fish in a big pond. From everything you guys found out from Argos, they were a small player in this whole game. But from what you understand, Tropu is a much larger force to be reckoned with. We shall have to see how this plays out. If you can make it, of course. For now, that is where we'll end tonight's session.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome back to the surface, guys. Your battle with Tropu, I will say, will be the final part of the Dragons arc. At that point, you guys will start heading south to resolve Caleb's business with their family, along with any personal matters, and start making your way towards the Aegis Federation, where Caro and Zephyr can settle theirs. Things are starting to come to a head now. If you want to see more of my DMing, check out twitch.tv/Grahamcrackers, GRAME, for my Friday campaign, The Goldshine Investigations, at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, featuring a party of investigators trying to unravel the cultish conspiracy that threatens to plunge their home into war. Check out our website at officiald5hub.info, currently down for maintenance at the moment, but soon to be resurrected from the grave, like a filthy necromancer who's heading into Acre Beast swamps to rescue their girlfriend. Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly, and support our episodes posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get them from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Tuesdays at 9:30 Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions, and check out Odd Tornado Productions Official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Human Rogues Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Killer5. That is 5 with a PH, don't get it wrong. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon. That link's about to be posted in chat, or on Ko-fi at kofi.com/Odd Tornado Productions, and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TornadoOdd, are in fact capitalized. If you want to see more of this party, tune in on Mondays at the same time, 9:30 Central Daylight, to catch our Monday game, Under Locks and Keys, featuring a party of globe-trotting treasure hunters scouring the globe to gather the artifacts of the gods and unlock what is either a valuable treasure or an apocalyptic curse. One of the two. And I think that's
an ambush.
yeah, and they're about to walk into a trap by a bunch of technology-worshipping cultists. Thanks, everyone at the table, so much for playing. Thanks, everyone at home, so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.
Oh, my goodness.